Hey. As you're listening to the broadcast or looking at the repeat, you can see I've actually set up already. And once again, always allowing Facebook to build the audience. Dun, dun, dun. All right, my first person is here. What's happening? Hey, yeah. All is well. Well, all is well. We've got less than, where we got? Hey, Holly. Hey, Teach. Tawana, good to see you, Coach. We got less than 4 minutes to go. People, if you've been on with me before, you know my motto. If you've seen it on YouTube or whatever, you know my motto is that early is on time and on time is on time. And when you get here, you're here. So we will start at 12 on the dot, which is less than 3 minutes away from here. Wow, Manuel, hey, good to see you, man. Long time. Lunch in Hyde Park. Wow, good memory. Good memory. Thank y'all for being on. But yeah, we'll be starting at 12 noon Eastern, 11 o'clock Central. And time is an interesting thing, isn't it? You know how different parts of the country are on different time zones, but we always talk about how much time we do have or do not have, and we tend to talk about the do not have before we talk about the do. But we always talk about time, and I remember when I first moved to Chicago, one of the things I was always, that I became conscious of that was hilarious to me with it being an hour behind. Oh, Maggie Lou, I love you. That's my goddaughter. With us being an hour behind on Central Time, I would always, I became more conscious of bringing in the new year at 12 o'clock in different time zones. So I brought it in on the Eastern time zone. When I was in Chicago, I watched TV and brought it in at 12 on the Eastern time zone. Then I chilled out and waited till 12 o'clock Central Time, had another toast or two, and then I waited for West Coast New Year to come in. By then, my brother was staying with me at the time. He was passed out drunk, but I could hold my liquor. I could hang with him. So I drank all the New Year's in. Hey, Medina, welcome back. And so, we got less than 2 minutes before we start. Steve, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So, that it does look like a halo. Let me move more into the halo-ish. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. But see, now watch this. You're going to think we playing this, less than a minute to go. But we're going to be talking about angels today. So that halo is so appropriate. Everything is always appropriate and right where it needs to be. Hey, Michael, see you next month. ZVK Productions, that's my sister. Good to see you. Hi, Cuz O'Robin, long time. Great to have you on board. Wow, these shout-outs only happen at the beginning because I'm getting ready to start. Hey, Gail, Granny Gail, everything is good. So we're going to get started in less than a minute. I don't even know how many seconds are left because my clock just says 11:59, doesn't tell me how many seconds to go. We're going to get started. Hey, April, and thanks for hooking me up with Cheech. So far, that looks like it's going to be a go, and it's working out. But let's get started. It's 12 o'clock. Last week, first of all, again, welcome to Glue Wednesday. And I call it Glue, again, because so many people talk about Wednesday being hump day. I'm very word sensitive. And there's so much power in the words that we use. And something else we're going to be talking about today and always. But let's not worry about hump. Let's not worry about getting over. Let's worry about, in fact, let's not worry about it. Let's focus on keeping it together. Because that's what we do. We need to give ourselves more credit for what we do to keep it together. Even when you think about the things that you may feel like you had to get over or tough times that you went through. Didn't you hear that self-fulfilling prophecy? I'm going through something. In other words, I'm not giving up. And more importantly, I'm not giving up on me. I'm going through. And I know that I'm going to come out on the other side. The thing is, I don't know what the other side is. And so that's where sometimes we have to be comfortable and like I say, find ways. We can always tell the testimony when it's over, but what can you do to share the testimony while it's going on? That can be a tough spot. Asking for help is a very challenging thing. I speak with the military, and it was funny because One of the things, I've been in my speaking business now for 23 years, and I remember in my third year hearing myself say something to the audience, and then I decided to do a self-check, a self-assessment, and make sure that I was not, practicing what I preach, but preaching what I practice, making sure that I was not giving advice or sharing information with people in the audience that I wouldn't take myself. And if you're a speaker or an aspiring speaker, or if you're speaking at a career day with your kids or in conversation, don't give advice that you wouldn't take. Hear what you say, and would you listen to yourself? Because that's so important that we listen to ourselves. And again, that's another topic we're going to talk about today, is how important it is to listen to ourselves. And that was inspired by something that Yvette said to me last week when she posted on the thread. So, really focus on hearing what you say. And when I'm speaking to my military audience, and I'm talking to them about handling stress and, potential PTSD and things that are going on in their relationships, because the deployment life can be very, dismantling to a family. That conscious separation is I always want us to pray for our military families, and especially for the family members, because see, our military service members, they enlist, they get boot camp, they get in National Guard, they get drill weekend once a month, and they are serving with like-minded individuals wherever they go. So they've got a somewhat of a built-in support group, but their families don't get that. Families may be the only family on the block who has someone in the military, the only one in the building, only one in the neighborhood, or one of two, and don't even know one another. Your support circle is so important. And so a lot of times you don't know what's going on in their lives. It's just like the knuckleheads we deal with in our lives. A lot of times we decide that someone's a knucklehead, but we don't know what news they just got that morning that made them go into a fog. Didn't over this weekend, for instance, one of my great friends, Chip Lutz, suddenly we get an email saying that he's having surgery. There was never anything about he is sick. It was he is in surgery. And so imagine if the moment I got that news, you were talking to me, I might look like I totally have not interested in what you're saying, because my mind would go to my brother who I had to be praying for. So as hard as it is, and it is hard, by the way, every now and then I think that the more we get into ourselves, the better we become at understanding others. So let's talk about a little bit of glue. So last week, like I said, I got some great comments. 3 comments that I want to use as the base of my discussion of joy today, because last week my topic was joy, J-O-Y, just one you, and I asked people to post, how do you celebrate yourself? How do you bring joy to yourself? So I got 3 people that did post, and that made me really think about a good way to start today. And the first one is that I want to use is one of the quotes that I got from Yvette. Yvette posted, I celebrate my ear to hear God. I celebrate my ear to hear God. And so with that, I chose to read a poem from my book, Your Name Came to Mind. But this poem is called Giving Thanks. And it was inspired by the movie, The Preacher's Wife. Well, I'm a big Denzel fan. So usually when Denzel plays a movie, he's really being me, but he's using his name. A lot of people say, Sporty, you look like Denzel. I say, no, Denzel looks like me. He just got more publicity. But anyway, let's go beyond that. But in the movie, if you didn't see the movie, you can still go see it. I mean, it's not a new movie. So if this is a spoilers alert, well, where the hell you been for the last few years? Because the movie's been out for quite a while. But in the movie, The Preacher's Wife, it's a story about a preacher in a town, and their church is going through difficulties. And so he's asking God in prayer to help them get through their struggle. I'm not an expert on the movie. I just know that that's what the basic premise of the movie is. Well, he asked God to send a signal, to send an angel. Denzel comes to earth as the angel. Now, Whitney Houston, by the way, is the wife of the preacher. So when Denzel comes, what he does, and it's interesting because, again, you can use this to look at and see how things connect. He pretty much forges a relationship with the wife. In other words, he strengthens the wife so that she can strengthen the husband. And because the husband, what has happened is, even as the pastor, as the preacher, he's lost a little bit of his faith. Again, saying one thing, preaching what, not practicing what he preached, but not preaching what he practiced, but practicing what he's preaching. He's telling his congregation to have faith and believe, but he had actually lost some of his belief. And so he was more focused on a stranger's influence or the reaction of his wife to a stranger, which is who they perceived Denzel to be, because he just came out of nowhere. In a small town, everybody knows here's a new face. And he never heard his own request in asking for God's answer to his prayer. So, are you going to church for the pastor, or are you going for the message? And now the best and the blessed combination is that you're going for both. So, it's really important to choose our messengers carefully. So, again, in the movie, Denzel is point blank in his terminology about, God sent him, that he's an angel, and he's having all these great conversations with Whitney, and the pastor's not hearing him. So this poem is called Giving Thanks. You see, you won't recognize the angel. His language will be too frank. When you really get God's help, you won't know who you should thank. So make your decision to give thanks now. Keep him worthy of your praise. Don't try to figure out his motives, for ours are not his ways. Have you wondered how you sounded asking for while wasting life? Or have you simply taken for granted that you can do as you please and not suffer consequence until you get tired and decide to seek his help by reflex, call out his name by habit, question your penance? Have you lost your place on the implementation crew, forgetting that only he is on the planning committee, and blinded yourself with jealousy and selfishness? Oh, my brethren, I beg that you do not surround yourself with the worldly misgivings and shortcomings that hoist you atop a throne that can no longer touch the hearts that call for your guidance. See, you won't recognize the angel, nor his concern for your health. When you really want God's help, let that angel be yourself. When you really want God's help, let that angel be yourself. Sometimes we forget to listen to ourselves as angels. No one inspires you more than you inspire yourself. No one inspires you more than you inspire yourself. You see, inspire, the definition for inspire is to influence, move, or guide by divine or supernatural inspiration. And though I coach people that you can't define a word by using the word, I guess the dictionary found a loophole since inspiration's definition is the act or power of moving the intellect or emotions. The act or power of moving the intellect or emotion. So as Yvette said, I celebrate my ear to hear God. As you hear the words that you say, as you hear the words that you say aloud and internally more than anyone else's, and I want you to realize that effect is a synonym of inspire, as well as a synonym of influence. Thus, we can see how your words and thoughts influence and more strongly impact your actions. And your actions, remember, children mock and mirror adults. So they mock and mirror your actions. What message are you sending to the children? See, when you recognize that you're the angel, and Yvette, thank you, because I created an acronym from HEAR, H-E-A-R. He expects and rewards. So hear your words. He expects and rewards the words that you use. Once you like they say, you breathe faith and life into those things that you want. So if you focus, which is also why I say we should focus on, try to catch people doing something right, than focusing on what they do wrong. If you focus on what you do right, what you'll end up doing is you'll minimize the errors or the setbacks in your life because you'll be so focused on getting it right. If you focus on not getting it right or what you've been doing wrong, you give power to that thing, and you're so busy okay, I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to mess this up. You mess it up because that's all you're doing is trying not to mess it up. Instead of recognizing, you know what, I can get this right, I can get this right, I can get this right, and then you start to move your spirit in the way of making sure that you get it right. So start to see that you are your angel. And if, again, as you look at that poem, the preacher was so busy being jealous of the relationship that this man was having with his wife, he didn't recognize that relationship was strengthening his wife so that she could be there for him. Because guess what? We can't do it alone. We all need a support system. We all need somebody around us. And if each person around us is focusing on keeping themselves strong, it allows us to focus on ourselves, keeping ourselves strong. We are each an important piece of the puzzle. No matter whether you see yourself as a large, medium, or small piece of the puzzle, without you, the puzzle is incomplete. So if each of us is focusing on what we do right and what our strengths are, we now become a more valuable member of every team that we're on. And I'm talking about your team, whether it's a sports team, it's your family team, it's your work team, it's your volunteer team, your organization you're in, your fraternity, your sorority, your church. We're always on a team. And if we're handling our business, we're making the team strong. So recognize the angel. And that's why I say, I'm great you point that out, Steve. Yeah, that halo is over there. Because, see, I see myself as an angel. I'm okay with that. And as you can see behind me, I've got I got a joy wall. It's a just one you. All my pictures on that wall about me. And they're not me going out and let me go collect all these pictures about me. If you see the one right here, my good friend Kyle Edgehill, she does the caricatures and at our AATH conferences, and she did that one of me. I love that. And then over here, a good friend of mine, Hi Lamb, he did both of these ones. The one on the top that says where he put my name King, and he put some graphics in the background, and then he took some pictures of me at a conference once or in his art studio and just gifted that portrait to me. Again, see, this is that people bless us in so many ways. Put the blessings around yourself. This becomes my support system, my sanctuary where I live. And it's not just me. It's the people that I keep in my life, and it's the cross that I have, because that's where it all goes for me. Again, I'm not super gonna put the focus on me, but recognize that I'm always focused on me. That's why I can say to you that you need to focus on you. I create my happiness. People say, well, how you liking Charlotte? I don't have to like Charlotte. This is my assignment. This is where God sent me. Well, what do you like better? I like New York better. I'm a native New Yorker. There's never going to be, for me, a place that I like more than New York. I will enjoy anywhere I live, because anywhere I go, I take sporty with me. And I find a way, because God has sent me to this place, I find a way to find out why I'm there, and to make sure that I'm having a good time, and to make sure that I'm impacting whoever I came to impact. You are somebody's messenger. As I always encourage you to choose your messengers carefully, the people that you put in your first 5 rows, choose your messengers carefully, but recognize that you're somebody's messenger as well. So when you deliver your message, are you leading them down a blind path? Or are you leading them down a wonderful road? Because there's no straight roads. The best roads are the crooked ones. See, the good thing about a crooked road, by the way, is if you're going straight, you're exposed. If you have a crooked road with twists and turns, every now and then you can duck and see what's coming around the next corner, and maybe you'll be better ready for it. I never said that one before, so I'm going to check the tape and use that again. Thank you very much for the inspiration. Okay, so make sure that you are your own angel. Thank you, Yvette, for celebrating your ear to hear God. Pray and listen to what you say. And then Jesse wrote, I give myself every chance to be happy. That's what I dig about me. And by the way, the reason I wanted you to post what you celebrate, how you celebrate yourself, and please still do that, because we don't do it enough. We say, well, yeah, I like myself. Go on and write it. Put it on the list, what you celebrate about you. Because sometimes we need to see it in writing. This is what I like about me. We need to read that. We read about other things. We research and look up other stuff. Research and look up you. Because you know the full motivation of what reason you're using that term, the terminology, the expression, everything about you. You know the ends. You know they say there's 3 sides to every story, mine, yours, and the truth. Well, you know the motivation for yours and the truth. And that becomes the key. So Jesse wrote, I give myself every chance to be happy, and that's what I dig about me. It made me decide to choose. First, I want to read this introduction in this book, and it's called. And again, my book is called. This is called Your Name Came to Mind. Okay, willing to break the chain of negativity were hundreds of public aid recipients I met through various welfare to work programs. These programs had a mandate to reintroduce people who had been on the welfare to work, or who had been on welfare to the world of work. These next poems were written through the eyes of women and men who were caught up in the system. Human beings shackled with the stereotype of being lazy, negative people milking the system for years, not wanting to work, wanting an easy job where they got little or nothing, sit at home and watch TV. People who I found proved to be spiritual and concerned parents, some of whom had only been on aid for less than a year, many nervous or even scared of the life change on their horizon. Yes, a life change, not a job. And as you will see, happy people to join in focusing on the as you will see people happy to join in focusing on the positive. Each poem written in this section was created through the words of audience members. Conducted all began with a theme or word for the day. Each word was treated as an acronym, and members were asked to suggest complete positive words to satisfy each letter of the acronym. The words in each poem with capitalized first letters are those of the audience. Themes used were self, thanks, life, women, soup, bread, and giving. So with this first poem, which is called The Journey Within, I used the acronym for SELF, S-E-L-F, self-esteem, love's foundation. And everybody, I went around the room and they either gave me a word that began with an S, an E, an L, or an F, and it had to be a positive word. Didn't have to have anything else but a positive tone to it. I took those words home. It's called what I call creating a word bank, and it's a principle you can use if you ever want to write a poem. I took those words, or a song, or a speech, I took those words home, and I created the poem using their words. So you can't see it on the broadcast, but in the book, every time I use one of their words, it's capitalized. So it might not be grammatically correct, and spell check was trying to beat me down, grammar check when I was writing it, but it's their words used to create their poem. Because one of my gifts is that I call it as a conduit of good spirits. I can sit with somebody for 45 minutes and have a discussion and write a poem through you about what, who you wanted to go through to, and just in us talking about that person, I can dedicate the poem to them and they'll think it's from you. Anyway, that's what I did with this. So this is called The Journey Within. My next step surprised even me. On the outside, it was bold without a care. My smile, my walk, my actions, and success come to fare. Commercial, I believe that we have more of a fear of success than we have a fear of failure. When you fail, the pity comes on board. Everybody's there to tell, oh, well, you know what, you're the wrong race, the wrong sex, the wrong gender, the wrong background, not enough education, come from the wrong neighborhood. See, the pity party just why you fail. And then you say, yeah, you know what? I am the wrong sex. I am the wrong color. I don't have, and now you feel good about the fact that you were over, that you weren't chosen, that you were passed over. And that's what the picture is for you. When you succeed, you want to minimize your success or your accomplishment. Oh, well, you must have kissed somebody's butt. You know, who do you know? How'd you get that? You know, I don't minimize your success. That's why a lot of times we don't share our success with people. That's what we just keep it to ourselves. That's one of the reasons you see kids in school, if you think back to when we call somebody a nerd because they get the right answer. That was sharing their success. So it's easier to not be the smart kid because then everybody gets on your case. See, a lot of these things are transferable in how we mature through our lives. Okay? So meanwhile, back to the poem. I'll read that last. I'll start and I won't do a commercial this time. I'll go straight through. The journey within. My next step surprised even me. On the outside, it was bold, without a care. My smile, my walk, my actions, aimed at the success so many have come to fear. For the challenge to maintain and repeat this pace has damaged many a fickle spirit and erased a lazy disposition. Fortunately, my path continues to feed and fulfill my stride to excellence through education. And as the vision of my fruitful ascension takes its shape, I feel empowered to describe myself in words that emulate my splendor. Smart, energetic, likable, funny, even stupendous, effervescent, luxurious, and fabulous. SELF. As this heightened interior awareness decorates a lavish exterior of sensitivity. My surroundings adjustment to my rejuvenated lifestyle allows itself to freeze in its tracks while my focus on the prize cushions my every step. Family, friends, and fantasy strengthen my commitment to survive, as my search to flourish rather than exist becomes the passion that keeps me alive. My road widens in anticipation of the emotional celebration of a heart flushed with life, love, excitement, and stimulating thoughts of myself that suddenly become captured as the reality that guides my faith-filled landing in everlasting silence. And yes, this is only the beginning. You see, the journey within is only the beginning, and it's non-stop. It's so important that we give ourselves that journey. Dig into yourself and find out who you are. And as you do that, you start to spread your gifts and share. And guess what? When you spread your gifts and share, who gets it? The people in your front 5 rows. So be careful about who you put in those rows. Choose your messengers carefully, because when you share your gifts, the first fruits go to the closest. See, all that it's about you, and we've got to be able and willing to grasp that. And so then the final quote that I got, or the next to last one, is Ken, he said, he just wrote, "Come back to Chicago." After seeing my broadcast. Thank you, Ken. We had a lot of good moments. So I took an inspirational message from my book, Starting Today, and I call them affirmations for daily living, not just for the day. And the caption on this inspiration was "Your Calling," because he said, "Come back to Chicago." So my caption was "Your Calling." I'm a professional speaker, and during some tough spots in my business, I've had people ask if I'd consider going to corporate America. And I cringe, because I talk to you about going forward. I know that this is my calling in life. Once you find yourself, you can't go back. And so it's a risk. It's a risk that I'm willing to take on myself. That's the joy I have in celebrating me. It has not been easy, and I did post the other day that right now I'm in the valley. I'm in one of my valleys, but life is about hills and valleys. And why do we only have to think that it's the valley of death? There's lilies of the valley too. Right now, my valley is looking good, because I know that my valley is leading to me going up again. I've dipped and fell so many times. It doesn't bother me. In fact, I even got a poem called "I Can See the Bottom." but it can't touch me. I can see the bottom. I can see that there's a chance for me to give up, but I don't give up. And so that's the key. Don't think of it as going back, or don't beat yourself up if you go back. Rephrase what you're saying. You're not going back. You're stepping across. That's what you have to do. You don't really go back, because you can't, as I tell my military people, you can't go back to the way things were when you come back from a deployment. You can't go back to the way things were. You have to come home to the way things are going to be with new tools, because you have a new tool. Your mind is the new tool. And as you learn more things, you add more to what? To your team. Large, small, or medium piece of the puzzle. You don't go back. You move over, you shift gears, and then you make it work. And then Jesse, and I like that, because it was one of the things Jesse said, it's about putting yourself in the way of joy. Get in joy's way. See, put yourself in position to have joy. I believe it's more important to keep your life on track than to turn it around. When you understand God, you recognize that you've always been going in a direction designed for you, and you've switched directions several times. Beware the cliches that you use in feeding your spirit. We always say when one door closes, another will open. I say when one door closes, go for the windows. Go for the windows, because there's more windows than there are doors. And we have to give ourselves credit for a lot of the good choices we made in our lives. Recognize that the road not taken was not for you, period. The road not taken was not for you, period. It's not about regret. Each road taken and choice made by you has been for you. And a sometimes in retrospect, great move. Celebrate that you've made moves. Continue to choose your messengers carefully and position yourself for the next move. It'll be right for you. Position yourself for the next move, because it'll be right for you. Thank you so much for joining this week's Glue, helping me keep it together and making sure that you continue to keep it together. Next week, I will not have a Glue Wednesday, because I will be on the road. I'm thinking about doing a Monday morning, but I probably won't. I'm going to take a break and just celebrate. And that's what you need to do. Take some time and just enjoy yourself and breathe in who you are. And by the way, that's another one of the synonyms for influence and inspire, is to inhale. It's inhale good feelings. So keep expressing your joy. Post some of the things that you do to celebrate about yourself. I'll be happy to give you a shout out. I haven't decided what my topic will be when I come back, but it's going to be a positive topic. Thank you for helping keep me positive and strengthened, because you make a big difference in my life. So I appreciate when you give me credit for making a difference in yours. But if we just go by numbers, which we don't, because we have to go by quality instead of quantity. But when there's quantity and quality, then it's even more of a blessing. And that's one of the blessings that you bring me, not only every week, but every day, and not only every day, but every moment. Thank you. God bless you. I'll have this posted on YouTube later today. Sunday mornings, I do an inspirational message on xldjradio.com. It's an app that you can download on your phone. You can also get it on and listen online using Wi-Fi. So Sunday mornings, afternoon at 12, and then Tuesday mornings at 9 or at 8. I do the broadcast. I'll put all that information on when I repost. Okay. Excuse me. Thanks again. God bless you. And I will see y'all hopefully in 2 weeks. And one thing I always say, by the way, when I'm traveling, is pray for the pilot. I'm just a passenger. Pray for the pilot, because I know who my real pilot is. If the pilot has a good flight, everybody has a good flight. You keep having a good flight, and I'll see you next week. Oh, I keep lying. I'll see you the week after. But hey, who knows? Keep in touch. Over and out. Ciao. Oh, I can do shout-outs if you're still here. I'll just thank you, Renee. Okay, thank you, Granny Gail. What's up, Charlie? Yeah, keep the $1 Million Minute Millionaire Roundtable going. Zet, thank you. Yep, come see your sister. That's my favorite sister. I love her to death. Her and Yeshiva. What's up, Jeanette? Good. I see they got through to you today. Okay, Brenda, thank you. Okay, glad that you were on for a minute. Hey, Coach Teresa, see you. Yeah, I see you next week. PK, good to see you. Love you. Love you too. Hey, what's up, Richard? Ministry Alive. Looking forward to visiting your church. Trilla. Hey, Trilla Grace, what's going on? Long time no see. God bless you, Jeff. Toastmasters in New York, in Chicago, love you. Diana, hey, go on, Atlanta in the house, good to see you. Okay, good. Now we're coming to the list that I shouted out at the beginning, so it's good to see all of y'all again. Steve, April, Mike Grundy, who I'll see you in the beginning of December, of June. Thank you so much for that blessing. And I got to give my final shout out to my goddaughter, Maggie Lou. Because that is just one of the many blessings, and all of you again have been a blessing in my life. Thank you so much. God bless you. Ciao.